I think I got to add some music to this countdown instead of you just watching me. All right. Just checking things here. All right. I hope you are having an amazing, amazing Friday. It is May 24th. Exciting weekend. My oldest, first granddaughter or grandchild, is getting married tomorrow in Michigan. I'm sadly not going to be able to be there, but I'm sure it's going to be amazing. We're going to do some FaceTiming so I get to see some of it. And it's hard to believe that not too far down the road, I could be a great grandparent. But here we are. I'm going to start doing this on a regular basis. The way I'm going to schedule this, my channel on YouTube is I'm going to try and go live on 2 days a week, most likely Monday and Friday, start off the week and end the week. Do little shorts all through the week, and then I'll do at least one training video upload each week to give you some more uh, tailored training. Okay. For those of you who don't know who I am, I go by Papa Ron. I'm Ron Deering. I've been in business for 50 years, since about 1970, 71. I had a corporate career. I did all the typical things, but was always an entrepreneur on the side until I finally retired and then went full time doing that. And now in my later years, I'm just in the position of wanting to give back as much as I can. I've had a number of successes and lots of failures, so I feel like I've got enough wisdom at almost 72 years old to give back to you, to give you some information, to give you some training, to give you some knowledge, to give you some ideas on how to build your business in a world that is ever changing, a world that is one day one way and the next day a totally different way. Um, it can be very, very hard to navigate. So, when I was thinking about what to talk about today, the thing that really hits home with me the most is how we do our marketing. And I remember many, many years ago being taught by somebody the cliche that facts tell and stories sell. And I started, that stuck into my head, and I started watching a lot of marketing, just, TV commercials, online marketing, websites, and how they put all these things together, and started to notice this trend that people were more telling stories, telling stories about the challenges their target audience has, telling stories about the success that they could give to them, and all these different things. But it was all about stories. And I remember teaching people that there were two things that you needed to become if you wanted to be successful in the marketing world. And one of those was you needed to become a good storyteller. You needed to become that person that understood your target market and could tell stories that would touch their hearts, right? And get their juices flowing, and get them wanting to know what you can do and how you can help them. And the other is you needed to be a collector of stories, because a lot of the people you're going to talk to aren't going to be in the same situation. I I talk to a lot of people and I say, well, who's your target audience? Well, I talk to single moms because I'm a single mom, and so forth. Um, and if I was to talk to a single mom, I really, couldn't talk to them coming from a position of I'm a single mom, right? But it doesn't mean if I've collected enough stories of single moms that I couldn't give her examples of the stories of successful single moms that have, gone through the paces and the tragedy and the stress and the struggle that single moms go through, right? Now, that said, for me, picking my niche didn't have anything to do with demographics. Single moms are a demographic. In fact, for years, my niche, if you would, was veterans. And I started to find out that that wasn't really my target audience. My target audience were people that had a challenge, that had a problem that they were dealing with that I had the solution for. And that came in all kinds of flavors: veterans, single moms, single dads, professional couples, and so forth. So I had to learn to tell a story, and a story that made sense. Hence the story brand, right? So, first, I want to say that if you have not looked at the book Building a Story Brand by Donald Miller, you are missing out. I can't recommend it enough. Just go to Amazon and do a search on Building Your Story Brand, Donald Miller. You'll find it. It's got red and white cover. It's just, it's incredible. I got to have it on my Kindle. You know, and it's filled with incredible power for using a story to market with, right? And I love the way he breaks it down, because his framework is the framework that we are all so very, very used to, that we are all so very engrossed in when we go to the movies, when we watch movies at home, wherever it is. They follow this same pattern. Okay, so what is it? It's the story brand framework, and I want to talk a little bit about that today. And then, depending on if there are people on here, we'll do some Q&A. Okay, so what is the storytelling, the story brand framework? Okay, first off, starts with the character or the hero, right? And I'm gonna go back and forth, because if you can relate it to a movie that you know, it makes it a lot easier. But one of the greatest movies of our time, and the greatest series of movies in our times, is Star Wars, right? And if I look at that first one that came out, we see Luke, who's the character, right? And he's the one, he's kind of our equivalent to our target audience, our ideal customer. He is that person that we're trying to make the hero, right? And if we understand who that is, we understand that the next part of the framework is that hero, that character has a challenge, has a problem, right? So if we look at Star Wars, all of a sudden the Empire comes, the stormtroopers, and they kill his aunt and uncle. They blow up their refinery or whatever, the business that they have and everything. And all of a sudden, Luke Skywalker is homeless, familyless. He doesn't have a job. He doesn't know what he's going to do. He's lost. He's got a problem, just like our ideal customer has. It may be they don't have enough money left at the end of the month. It may be that they just have no time. It may be that they just want to do what they love in life, right? For me, my target audience is people that have a passion, that they would love to have the education and the ability to take it online and make money so they can do what they love for the rest of their life, right? But their challenge, their tragedy in their life is they can't do that. They don't know how to do it, right? In comes the guide, Obi-Wan Kenobi, right? And the guide is you. And this is where most people just don't really get it. And I see this all the time, especially on social media. All these people like, make $1,000 your first 30 seconds in business. And I made $10 million in my first day in the business, and on and on and on, right? They're making themselves the hero. I don't care how much you've made. I don't mean to be mean or rude, but it doesn't matter to me how much you've made. It matters to me if you can be my guide, if you can teach me how to. I want to know how many people you taught to have success. And if you've taught 100 people to make, $5,000 a month, and hey, you could be my guide. You could do that for me. But if all I know is that you've made a lot of money, that does me no good. Obi-Wan Kenobi didn't come to Luke and say, "Hey, look at me. I'm a great Jedi, hero and everything." No. He said, I need to teach you something." Okay? He had a plan. And his plan was, you have to become a Jedi warrior. The call to action was, follow me, right? So now we got the first 5 points of the first 5 areas of the framework. You've got the hero, you've got their challenge that they're going through. The guide appears, the guide gives them a plan, and then the guide says, let's do this, right? But it goes on from there. The next thing is the guide's going to tell them about these last 2 things, right? Success and failure. Here's what happens if you follow the plan. You're going to have this success, right? If you follow this, if you become a Jedi warrior, the Rebel Alliance can win and the Empire can be defeated. But if you don't, and you don't help out, and you don't go down this path, then the Rebel Alliance most likely is going to fail, and you're all going to be under the hand and the slavery of the Empire, right? The power in this is amazing. If you start looking at all of the content that you put online, all of the content that you create, if you take all of that and look at it through this lens, you will be amazed on how things change. You'll be amazed at how all of a sudden you're really seeing what people need and how you can be that guide instead of be that hero, right? You're a hero in your own story. Now you're talking about their story. You need to be the hero in there. You need to let them be the hero, and you need to be the guide that takes them on to that journey to make them the hero. So every piece of content that you provide should be spending a lot of time talking about the challenge they have and then how you've helped people come through that same challenge and what they need to do, the call to action, and what happens if they don't follow it and what happens if they do, the success they're going to have, right? Something in the nature of, hey, if you keep doing the same thing that you're doing, what's your life going to look like in the next year, the next 5, the next 10 years, right? It's not going to change. But if you follow the plan that I have for you, wouldn't it be amazing if you could start taking the vacations with your family that you want? You could start going to all the events your children are going to. You could have enough money to do those things, to make sure that you have a nice home, that you're secure, to make sure that you can help the people in life that you want to help, to make sure you can do those things that right now you can't, to make sure you can have the life that other people would love to have that you can then have. Telling this story, using the story brand framework instead of always giving facts, putting yourself first on the pedestal, will change how your marketing goes. Will change how you convert things. It'll change how your ideal customers look at you. If they look at you as the person that's always me, 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 I'm the hero, look what I've done, eventually they're going to say, you know what? I need to know what you can do for me. But if you're the Obi-Wan Kenobi of the story, then you're going to have people knocking down your door to follow you. Things will change. I remember this quote or this statement from Earl Nightingale when he said, if you don't have the framework you need to do marketing and to do what you need the right way, then you need to find out what everybody else is doing out there, how everybody else is marketing and everybody else is doing what they're doing, and you need to do the exact opposite. You need to stand out. And that is so, so true. If you look at what's out there, and I try not to go to social media too much anymore, but when I do, sometimes I'll be sitting in the car waiting to pick up the grandkids, our 2 youngest ones here in Coeur d'Alene, and I think, okay, what's Instagram got going now? And it's just or TikTok, it's just one income claim after the other. We made so much money and we can't stand it. There's just so much wrong with that, right? First off, you don't have no idea if they're telling the truth. I think the statistics is well over 50% of the people that say that are not telling you the truth at all. And if you ask them to prove it and show you their back office to you, they undoubtedly will not do that, right? But let's say they did. They have had, created that kind of income. Doesn't mean that you can. Doesn't mean that what they're doing is going to work for you. So what difference does that make? Okay, so you made $5,000 your first month. Maybe you've got a large audience. You're already an influencer, and I'm starting from scratch. So what is it that you're going to tell me that is going to help me? Because what you did, if I do, isn't going to work, right? Well, let's say that they did do that, and what they're doing does work for you. Again, you still don't know if it's something that you really want to do. Right? You may not want to market that way. If I had somebody come to me and said, yeah, we can make $10,000 a month and here you can do this, and I could say, okay, I've been out there a long time. I've got a lot of followers and things. Sure, I can try that. And then I find out what they're doing and say, you know what, that's just not who I am. That's not what I want to do. That's not how I approach things and everything else. So what's the best path to take instead of sitting in the noise and trying to figure out? Go down the storybook. Go down the framework and see who your character is, what their challenge is, and how you can guide them. Base what you do on what they are struggling with and the solutions you have in life, right? If my target audience were people that wanted to be Chinese chefs, I don't have the solution for that. I could be a Chinese consumer of Chinese food because I love Chinese food. But I certainly wouldn't present myself as someone that could teach them how to become a Chinese chef, right? Do I have a lot of years of experience and success and failure of building network marketing businesses and marketing online and doing videos and technology and all this? Yeah. So if someone has a challenge or they just can't get technology, can I help them? Yes, I can. Right. If they want to know how to build an electric car, nope, can't help them there. They want to know how to put on makeup, nope, can't help them there. Right. But if they want to know the things, how to do the things that I know how to do, then I can be the guide. So I've got to know who my hero is. I've got to know what their challenges are, and I have to know if I am the guide that can help them. And once I am, then I can provide them a plan, give them the call to action. You need to look into this plan. You need to do it, and then tell them, hey, if you do, here's a success, here's a failure, and so forth. Now, you don't need to always use all seven of these when you're marketing, when you're putting a sales page together, when you're putting content together, when you're doing videos and so forth, but keep it in mind. I think the first five are obviously the most important. You need to understand who that character is. I always teach people that there are two things that you really need to know about your marketing. And one is you need to know who you are. You need to know what your vision and your mission is. Right? We see it in the scriptures. People without a vision will fail, will perish. We see it in our lives. Michael Beckwith has a great quote that, let the pain push you until your vision pulls you. We do things in the beginning because we've got to make money. We've got to do these things. And that pain pushes us on until we've got a vision that is so powerful that we get up every morning, no matter how we feel and what's going on in our life, that vision pulls us, right? The other thing we need to know is who our ideal customer is. We need to know who we're speaking to. If our vision is who we want to impact in our lives and what we want to become in the future, if we don't know who we're talking to and who we're trying to help, it's going to be hard to do that. You need to know these two things. That's again, it goes back to your hero, the challenge you're having, and the guide, that's you, right? So I hope this has helped. I see there's nobody on right now, and that's okay. I've just started going live again, so a lot of people don't know that I'm doing it. Um, but if you're here and you have any questions and you're watching the replay on this, please put a comment in the bottom. I will answer your questions. I always go back and look. And I hope that this has helped you a little bit and got your mindset on how you can really help people, how you can really go out there and not always be about the money. I know, and this breaks my heart. One of my closest friends that had a Instagram reel out the other day because people were saying, people that say they're not all about the money are just liars and things like that. Understand that. Thank you for that. Understand that there's a lot of people out there that truly have a heart to give, that truly have a heart to help people, and the money comes. Right? Zig Ziglar said, "You can have anything and everything you want in life if you help enough other people get what they want." We always hear the Bible verse that talks about, money is the root of all evil. And that's not what it says. It says the love of money, making money your God, is the root of everything that's going to go wrong in your life. Having money is no big deal. It just makes you more of who you already are. If you're a good person, it gives you so many more options. So if you hear someone saying, "Yeah, if you're not about the money, you're telling people you're not about their money, you're a liar," please don't listen to them. They're on a path that is so far beyond the truth in life. It's just not true in any way, sense, or form. Are there people out there that might say that and they really are about the money? Of course. Are there people that are crooks and are trying to scam people? Of course. Are there good people out there? Hundreds, thousands, millions. There's a lot of great people out there that do what they do because they love people and they want to help. And they don't need to shout it from the rooftops. People know that they do it. Be that person that stands apart from everybody else. Find out what everyone else is doing and do exactly the opposite. God bless you and your family. For us in the United States, it's Memorial Day weekend. I hope you have a safe 3-day weekend. Thank someone in your family that has. I know Memorial Day weekend is for those that have passed, but those that have passed have left those behind. So reach out to those people. Do something good. God bless you. See you on the next one.